Shake.
Hey, welcome to the Grooming Chair podcast, the podcast where we host the intersection of barbering, culture, and technology. In this episode, we dive into the latest trends and stories shaping the barber industry today. I'm Tahoeinthemorningg, your host, along with Ben Graham. All right, and
I felt like I just won like a race. Just yeah, I was like, oh my god, Okay, yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
You won a race.
Like
All right,
Olympics,
today we're going to be exploring how barbering is transformed from the early 2000s to the vibrant culture we see today. Everybody grab your clippers, and we're about to get into this, man. So, yeah, we're going to get right into it. Let's get started and take a trip back to 2000, the whole 2000s.
2000. I was about to say, let's take it back to Y2K.
Y2K. Do
You remember that?
I remember Y2K.
The world's gonna end.
You know, the funny thing is, I remember how it was in Y2K. I think I was in like 7th or 8th grade. I'm literally sitting there saying to myself, like, yo, the computer's about to shut down.
Yo.
And then I started laughing. I'm like, well, my school really didn't have computers like that. So I didn't even, it wasn't like a big thing. And we did have like these little laptop thing programs that they did or whatever, but you had to like do an infrared to connect it to the, and it was like an experiment, bro. It was like a social experiment. This is early back in the early 2000s. So if
early
anybody knew anything about that time, you already know that, you know, it was pretty much a straightforward time in barbering. What you seen is what you get. No frills. It's just straight up haircuts. Whether you could blend, cool. If you couldn't blend, you couldn't blend. You know, the focus is more on, you know, traditional haircuts, buzz cuts, fades, you know, things that weren't like out of the box, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it wasn't really nothing fancy back then. Cause I ain't gonna lie, 2000, I was getting the one all around.
One all around.
Point to sideburns.
Maybe a shape up.
Square in the back.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
You had a square
In the back. I wasn't around, man, dog.
Wait. Was that because your mother told the barber to do exactly what she said?
Boy, that was a good question.
Or was that because you actually had a little with the barber?
Nah. That was my mom.
That was
my mom. You getting the even. I couldn't get a fade. I couldn't get a blowout. I don't know if y'all know what a blowout is. Blowout, taper. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get a blowout. I couldn't get none of that. So all I can get was a one all around. And I had to get I can get the pointed sideburns.
The pointed sideburns.
Yeah, so that means we wasn't boxing it off. Because you know if you boxed it off, you wasn't really cool when
you was a
school.
Square. That's what it was called. Like you were square because you had square sideburns. Like that's just the best way to put it. But as we can see, you know, barbershops were typically neighborhood staples.
Yeah.
Places where men went back to get a quick cut and just talk it up. You know, back then the emphasis was, you know, more of the efficiency aspect rather than the style aspect.
True that.
And, you know, growing up in the household where I grew up in, it was all about 100%, you know, efficiency. Brush your hair, put a little bit of grease on it, keep it moving, get right.
Yeah.
Don't worry about your waves. It wasn't no waves. We didn't have waves back then. It was like, if you had waves, you had to steal your mother's stocking, and hopefully she didn't see that you cut the stocking
I'm about to say, you
get a
had to
stocking cap.
And then you got to tie it.
Yes.
Put that thing on. You had to have a stopping point. That's
No,
why you tie
yes.
it.
And if you didn't have that, you like put the foot part there and your feet, your head smelled like feet.
Yeah.
Because, Ma, I love you. That's the first thing I'm going to say. But, you know, back then the emphasis was efficiency rather than style. Like I said, you know, the industry somewhat overshadowed that by, you know, Bergen's the salon scene now, like the big salon scene that everybody loves, which captures, you know, the spotlight of the colorful dye jobs and also the intricate styling.
Yeah.
You know, barbers were often considered as the underdogs of the hair care world. And so, you know, just speaking on that right there, I remember growing up as a kid, you know, if you were a barber, it was like, ugh, you're a barber?
Yeah,
But nowadays,
they look down on you.
How in the 2024, it's a whole different ball game. Not only it's a whole different ball game, it's a, you know, billion-dollar industry. And I think, you know, back in the early 2000s, nobody really seen it that way because it still came with like a, you know, negative connotation, if that makes any sense. So I know you're from, you know, South Florida.
Yeah.
How was the barber scene in South Florida in 2020? or 2000s, early 2000s?
I'm about to say, yeah, man. You know what? let's take it back even a little bit further, man.
Take it back.
Like let's go back to like that Jordan era. Jordan era.
Jordan era.
And like towards the end. 95, 96, 96,
Ooh,
97.
We're taking it way back. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
So, that's when, think about it. What was we watching back then? Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince.
Martin.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So that's when we was really starting to see those styles be unveiled. That little high top fade.
The Gumby.
The Gumby. Come on, man.
That's what we had back in Connecticut, the Gumby.
Man, we had.
We'll call it the Tupac Gumby, like the Bishop.
Oh, yeah, the Bishop. Yeah. See, it's crazy because even just knowing where those haircuts derived from the movies, those were staple haircuts back in the day.
I agree.
Like you wanted to be as clean as Martin Lawrence, but not everybody can get a Martin Lawrence haircut.
Everybody didn't have a Martin Lawrence head.
Come on now.
That's the whole point of it. A lot of people didn't have Martin Lawrence head.
And I'm not gonna lie, man. Going from, let's see, 95, 96, you had Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was rocking the fade. Then you come into those 2000s, and that's when that Caesar, that even all around was undefeated, man.
I agree.
Because back then, that's when our parents, they weren't finna pay for no foolishness.
No, they wasn't gonna pay for no foolishness at all.
At all. Like, you finna get this good, clean, low haircut, and it's gonna last you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, for me, the best thing I had on my side, man, I had waves.
I agree.
So it was like I knew that I either wanted to get a 1 or 1.5, right? Because I need my waves to lay a certain way.
Now, was that with the grain or against the grain?
Oh, with the grain, man. If you got it against the grain,
barber, can I get it with the grain, please?
please. Because if I come in here and you cut my hair against the grain, that means my mom called you and told you I was on punishment or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the I'm in trouble haircut. But yeah, man. Even going 2000 going into 2001, that Y2K phase, right? So we was in the 9th grade at that point.
Yeah, I remember.
So we was in the 9th grade, right?
Yeah, 2000. Yep.
I remember 9th grade. Man, skin fades wasn't even popular back then. Wasn't nobody getting the ball, nothing back then.
Only my uncles was getting skin fades back then.
Old folks.
Cause you was an old head if you got a skin fade, bro.
Old head.
And I'm talking about a nice skin fade. Like, it was dope. But I'm like, I sit back and think now, sorry to cut you off, but I think now, like, how is it that these dudes were cutting hair in early 2000s like that and, like, blessing people? And we were walking around looking crazy.
Looking crazy.
We was looking regular. Okay, sorry, we was looking regular.
Yeah, because you know what? It's crazy that you said that, man. My uncle, who is the oldest uncle in the family, he used to rock a skin fade.
Yep.
And it's like, bro, you the only person I know.
Military.
High and tight. Like, you the only person I know rocking a skin fade.
Like a 2-finger blend.
Like this, boom.
That's it.
And then your hairline is receding a little bit.
Automatically.
So you ain't got to line up in the front.
Feels like it's sitting on top of your head.
You just got that one on the side, and then it's that fade. You know what I mean?
Just a little tap too. You got to tap the line. Hey nephew, tap the line. That's what you gotta do. Don't be pushing me back. Tap the line.
It's wild, man, because it's like even when we were sitting here, we talking about it, right? I think because my mom used to have us in the barbershop 7, 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
See, these kids ain't doing that no more.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We was in the barbershop 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, so I was in the barbershop with all the old heads.
Yeah.
So I'm watching them get they skin fades, they even all arounds and whatnot, talking about
Grown
sports,
man business.
You know what I mean? Sports, the tea, and whatever was going on in the neighborhood or was going on the block. But it's like haircuts the barbershop is way different now. If you really think about it,
I mean, you think about the rise of the modern barber. You know what I mean? Fast forward to the day, and we see that, there's a dramatic shift. Barbering has become a cultural phenomenon. Emerging art with skill, Instagram and YouTube, it plays a massive role in this transformation with, barbers showcasing their creative skills as well as building their personal brands online. I think personally, the modern barber is just not just a tradesperson, but an artist.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because I'm a barber barber myself. You know, it's just you look at what's going on in the industry and how it goes on in the industry. We have different barber conventions, barber expos, barber this, barber that. It's putting a spotlight for intricate designs, beard sculpting, as well as personalized services that, you know, I've just become the norm. I know for me as a barber in the shop working day to day, I've never, you know, done more beard trims ever in my life, as well as now we're doing different types of beard trims. We're cleansing the beard before we trim the beard. You know, we wash it, we condition it, we put oil, we do all this. We don't just, you know, slap a little bit of this on their face and send them on their way. But, you know, barbershops definitely have, you know, evolved into a lifestyle hub. So many people would say cultural hub, but it's a lifestyle that we live. So, you know, places where clients could come and not only just get a haircut, but they also come in for an experience. And I think that's what a lot of people fail to realize when they go into the barbershop. It's more of just, you know, just a haircut. So, like, even when you say you touch on that, you know, you're there at 8 o'clock in the morning, I can guarantee you that you learned a few things or two 8 o'clock in the morning that you probably shouldn't have learned.
Yeah.
But it's about the whole experience about going to the barbershop when you got that one all over.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's crazy. You was talking about the modern barber is not just a tradesperson, but an artist. Because it's like the way I feel, and this is me just being confident in myself.
Agreed.
The deeper we go into this, the more I realize that, yeah, I went to school to learn a trade, but I'm creating art on an everyday basis.
So what would you say is your paintbrush?
Ooh, I mean, it's a combination. I have a few different ones. Because if you go to an artist
An artist.
and you watch him do his thing,
Yes.
they're not just finna do that whole painting with one brush.
What are they gonna do?
They're gonna switch brushes.
Ooh.
And they're gonna switch different sizes of brushes.
We gotta get this. I don't know why. I just felt like I need to put that in there right now. But definitely, that is 100% on point. Continue.
Yeah. I mean, you know, so I'll take it like this. I'll switch it up. Let's not think about it like being an artist. Let's think about it being a coach. And you're coaching a team. Let's be specific.
Yeah.
Coaching basketball.
Basketball.
So I got my starting five.
Gotcha.
Feel what I'm saying? My starting five is going to consist of a few things. Maybe I got 2 clippers, 2 trimmers, and a wild card. Maybe I got 1 clipper, 2 trimmers, detachable, and a razor. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I got 1 trimmer, 1 clipper, 2 different types of scissors, and a detachable.
Interesting.
You see what I'm saying? You see
Yeah,
how I'm
yeah,
switching up my starting five? Truth be told, it's just like what makes me become an artist and what allows me to really fulfill what I want to on my canvas is the type of tools that I use. So my paintbrush is very important. So my paintbrush can go either from it can go from a clipper to a trimmer to a detachable to a shear. My shear can be a 7, a 6.5. I can even go down to a 4.5. It depends on how much detail work I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, in my arsenal, I have a lot of different paintbrushes. It's just all about what's going to get me to the finish line. And I think that's what makes me an artist, because it's like when that person comes in and tell me what kind of haircut they want, I'm going to tell them what kind of haircut fits you. And
So
then,
that goes into the experience aspect, because I know I've heard stories that there are a lot of barbers that just give the person what they feel that they need versus actually tailoring the haircut to them and making sure that, you know, essentially they're good. And I don't want to say it like that, but that's really what it boils down to. You know what I mean? And so just saying that alone is you're creating an experience for the client. Having them appreciate you more, and not only that, but see your value as well. That's the way that I look at it.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. You touched on something right there. I think the goal is for them to see my value. Like, you know how you go to the gym, and then you
Every
go
morning.
and so you know how you go in there,
6:30.
and it's it's dudes in there.
Doing my thing. Oh, I'll debo the bench. I already know what you're talking about. I'll just walk up to him and be like, I'll debo this bench from you. Like, move.
Because you're not doing nothing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was in the zone, Chief. I was in the zone.
I mean, because when you get in there, you got to lock in. You know what I mean? Because I know when I walk through that barbershop door,
yeah,
I lock in.
Automatic.
And here's the thing. I can tell who needs to be there and who only here for the time being. So a lot of times it's like, you know what? Let me get you out the way. Because the thing is, if we're going to give out this experience,
yeah,
I don't need you to be in my way of giving out this experience.
I feel as though you got to do it all the way, too. You can't, like, half-ass it.
Nah.
If that makes any sense.
Nah, that's not 100%. Like, my mom, we're going to go back. My grandma, you know what she's saying? If you're going to do it, you got to do it with love.
Do it with love.
And she was just talking about cooking. But I believe that when we in here, what we doing? We in the kitchen.
We're in the kitchen.
We cooking, you know what I mean? So it's like, dog, if you're going to do this haircut, you got to put a certain amount of love into it. A certain amount of, like, I'm just paying attention, you know? So for the fact that I'm going to give you a haircut that fits you and not one that I think that you should get because it's easier for me,
yeah,
I think that's a big thing right there. You know what I'm saying? So that tacks onto the experience. We're creating an experience. And then even what you were saying from the products that we use to how we create this, how we start the service and finish the service. That's very important. You know what I mean? So, like, I think that all of that, like, turns us into, it takes us from being just your regular barber to, like, yeah, I am an artist, because that piece that I put on your head, it ain't fit for nobody else. It's only fit for you.
Like, I'm low-key a superstar if you really want the truth, because I just blessed your life.
I blessed you.
But when you walked through that door and you sat in my chair, you know what happened, right? You legitimately looked at me and said, I need help. I said, you know what? Here you go. I bless you.
You know when you remember that one joke when the Lord turned the water into wine.
The Lord turned the water to wine.
And he was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and keep the party going.
Keep the party going, baby. Keep the party
y'all
going.
Y'all gonna keep going. You know what I mean?
We're gonna keep the party going. But no, I agree with you, you know, definitely on that. And I think that actually touches on a little thing right here, you know, influences and trends. So, you know, let's just talk about some influences that have, you know, reshaped the industry, hip-hop culture. You know, us being two kids, you know, born in the 80s.
1800s.
Were raised in the 90s.
1900s.
You know, we grew up around hip-hop culture,
Yeah.
which is, you know, for one, it had, you know, a significant impact. And I mentioned earlier, you know, the Gumby and the Tupac fade. You know, artists and celebrities are often seen as, you know, with fresh, innovative styles, as well as setting trends that barbers around the world, you know, replicate. We're often, you know, seeing a resurgence of vintage styles, you know, pompadours, quiffs, and slickbacks are making a comeback. Often, you know, with a modern, like, twist. You know, sustainability is, you know, another emergence trend as well. So with some of these shops, you know, using eco-friendly products and, you know, practices, this types of thing right here, it's, for me, I touch on this a little bit because, you know, District Grooming Company does have a product line. I've been in the product business for a little bit, since 2018. And I know that the way that things are shifting in the industry, a lot of people are looking for more cruelty-free, vegan-free, you know, animal testing free. These things to where it's even water-based products to where it's not going to, you know, mess up the integrity of the hair. Yeah. It's not going to, you know, put a, it's the carbon footprint.
Yeah, you know, it's like, okay. That was a great point that you touched on. Wow, and it's like, because it sent me down a rabbit hole.
And that's the whole point of it. It's, if you don't go down that rabbit hole, even picking the products that you use for your clients, this is a big thing for me. And you know this. Again, we work, you know, side by side in a barbershop here, and the grooming chair is solely based off of, you know, elevation. But if you're not elevating, you know, your clients, what are you doing? I'm not gonna sit there and have my clients use any products that are gonna be, detrimental in a bad way to their hair texture, integrity, or just the smell alone.
I mean, bruh. All right, so check this out. Let me go ahead and test your age.
Test my age. I'm listening. Already. I'm ready.
You got a low boy. You got a little Caesar, even all around. Maybe a slight taper on the side.
Taper.
Back in the day, it was two different greases that you would greases. You see how I said that?
Greases.
Greases.
Yep.
It's two different greases that you would put on your head.
Mm-hmm.
What was one of them?
Blue Magic.
And what was the other one?
It was that little silver top hairdressing thing.
Oh boy, listen, you was using some other stuff. Check, you remember 360 waves?
Oh,
you remember Murray's?
Whoa, and Dax. That stuff you had to literally go.
Hey, come on now.
Because if you didn't, it would, in low key, I knew people that used to use a blow dryer, bro, and literally
heat that
put
thing
the little
up,
dollop of it, bam, and do that, and then put it on it. Because when it held, it legitimately had your head like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In your do-rag, you were literally like this the whole time. What are you so happy for? You ain't happy. That's your Dax over there and got your forehead slapped up and stuff. And even with, what you call it, the Murrays, too.
Yeah.
Murrays used to do that. Yeah.
Bro, Murray, and
Murrays
man,
used to do that.
back in the day, Murray's, you come in with Murray's, you
Yeah.
think you got your waves popping.
No.
But you about to mess that barber's clippers up.
100%.
You know what I mean? And that stuff, you couldn't wash it out your
And
head.
he was scared to wash your hair back in the day.
They was not washing back in the day.
No, they wasn't even thinking about washing back in the early the 2000s. They wasn't even thinking about washing the hair. This is why I say it goes into the grooming, experience here. With the grooming chair, this is what we do. We provide experience, knowledge, experience, as well as sometimes just a little bit of techniques to help out. Why would you not wash the person's hair? 2000s, they didn't care about that. Now had your clippers going like that. Well, your clippers in the lawnmower.
And then afterwards, be like, yeah, man, you can't come in here with your hair like that because the clippers won't cut it.
And they get mad at you.
But see,
boy, you better go wash that boy head.
Nowadays, and I was just about to say that.
Shampoo.
Nowadays, I know this one thing, man.
Yeah.
If you sit in my chair and I don't trust what's going on in your head, you getting the shampoo, you getting the clarify. And then you get the shampoo, and then you get the conditioner. So I'm washing your hair twice, and then I'm conditioning it once. And then by the time I sit you down, I'm going to blow dry it back into place. And then I'm going to go ahead and start cutting. Clean cut. I mean, clean hair, clean cut.
Clean hair, clean cut.
See what I'm saying?
Clean hair, clean cut. Clean hair, clean cut. Clean hair, clean cut. We should put that on a T-shirt.
Clean hair, clean cut.
Hey, our cameraman.
Yo.
We need to put that on a T-shirt.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Clean hair, clean cut.
Shouldn't even have put him out there. Clean hair, clean cut. Go ahead, coin that right there. Clean hair, clean cut.
Because it's
that
like,
was dope.
You got to
That
think
just
about it, man.
Almost made me jump out the damn chair. Sorry.
What we don't, and this is something. Now that we talking about
it.
What we talking about? Influences and trends. What we talking about? Reshaping the industry. Okay, so check this out. Here's what we need to understand. There's two things that we need to understand. One. When you come in to get a haircut, now see, let's think about it. Guys who are married. When your wife goes and get her hair done, I guarantee you, especially if we talking about the guys with melanin in their skin, and their wives got melanin in their skin, and then their wives are finna go get their hair braided. What's the first thing on that list?
Wash
and blow dry.
Wash and blow dry.
You come in with a clean canvas. See, it's a lot of you guys that, and this is what really upsets me. So what you wash your hair with? Whatever my wife has in the bathroom.
So you don't even know what kind of shampoo that your own wife use?
And she could be using a color-treated, color-protected shampoo.
Or she could be using herbal essence.
The Garnier. Suave.
She could be, what they say, built for a woman but strong enough for a man?
Strong enough for a man.
Or something.
Yeah, backwards.
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. I don't remember, but it's something like that. We was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. So these are kind of things that, was was normal for us.
Yeah,
Continue.
man.
My bad.
I mean, the thing is, it's just like you say, man. Simple knowledge. Check this out. If I was to go to
Walmart.
and I was to buy my shampoo and conditioner from Walmart versus if I went to Cosmoprof, that's where we would normally go.
Cosmoprof, yeah. Salon
So-
centric, because we have a license.
We have a license,
Go get,
and we
you know,
come on
certain
now.
things.
So it's like if I go there versus Walmart,
Yeah.
right? So there's a thing called professional grade products versus home grade products. Your home grade product, that's your Gagne, your Suave, your Got to Be Glue. You know what I mean? Things like that.
No.
So
Yeah.
now, if I'm using my Suave, my Garnier, that's considered a home product. See, the thing about those products is they don't penetrate the cuticle. So you remember we was talking about the Murrays. You got Murrays on top of your head. That's a very thick grease. So now I'm gonna try and use Garnier to wash it out. The Garnier,
is an oil-based product.
and it's thick.
Yes.
When you try and use that Garnier to wash out that Murray's, it's not gonna penetrate, so it's not gonna come out. So now you're just topping on the Garnier smell on top of the Murray's hair grease. So now your cuticle is clogged. So then when you come to the barbershop, you wonder why the hair sticks to your head and you feel like your hair is not growing because it's clumped with grease and product and all of that.
Yeah.
So it's not like when you come in here, I gotta recognize that and then I gotta give you a proper shampoo.
Yeah.
So now I got to start with my clarifying shampoo. We want to
That's
get
all
out
that
of
is.
all the impurities. You know what I'm saying? Then I want to come back with the shampoo that you need. You might have curly hair, so that might mean you might need some moisture driven. You see how we talking about this? This is a whole experience. When you coming in, there's a certain way I got to look at you and I got to understand this is how I got to take care of you. If not, then I'm gonna just be sitting here and cutting your hair, jamming up my clippers, and then when you go home and wash your hair, it's gonna be patchy. It's gonna be patchy because that grease and all that stuff was sticking to your head. So I wasn't able to get all of the hair off your head. So I didn't give you experience. I actually gave you a bad haircut because of everything that you was going through the week, and then I don't have the proper products to treat you.
Yeah.
So it's like even just looking at that experience right now. So all that right there, all that information right there, was all product driven. What to do and what not to do. How to come in the barbershop, and if I'm coming in the barbershop like this, then this is what I need to ask for. See, a lot of you guys come in the barbershop sometimes and you don't be wanting to get a shampoo.
You don't want a man touching your hair, that's why.
And it's crazy. It's like the best thing we can do for you is shampoo your hair first. Remember what we just said?
I agree.
Clean hair, clean
hair,
cut.
Clean hair,
You know what I mean? So it's like when we break it down, man, it's like it all goes into the experience. And if you allow your barber to really get off,
Yeah.
and you really got you a good barber, you will see your hair will start to thank you. You know what I mean? And when I think about experiences and trends and all this, like it all comes down to like what are you willing to do when you come in here?
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like truth be told, if it's a grooming experience,
It's a grooming experience.
then you gotta allow me to wash your hair.
It's the whole thing.
I need to. There's 5 phases, right? So I need to use my blow dryer in this process, which means I need to wash your hair. All right, so you need to allow me to get 3 out of the 5 off so I can get all 5 off. If not, then this is just like I'm just cutting your hair, I'm beating you out your dollar. I can beat you out your dollar any day of the week, man, because that's what us barbers are built to do. But like what I'm on is like because we talking about experiences, I'm on the experience, man. I want you to understand the value of a good haircut. I want you to understand why I washed your hair and why I used the products that I used and why I did everything that I did. You know, because it's like
everything is with a purpose.
everything's with a purpose. Like when you wake up, like I think our most successful men in the world or people in the world, they wake up and they have a regimen, they have a routine. They wake up and they literally probably do the same thing every day.
I agree.
And if you think about us barbers, outside of whatever your morning routine is, by the time you walk through that door, you're actually living the same movements over and over and over and over. So, you know, I feel like if you just allow us to get off in that experience, man, it's like only thing we can do is thrive and shine. And it's going to be better for you, you know?
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, I 100% agree with you on that right there. And I think just a lot of people don't have, access to the knowledge.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. And if they don't have any access to the knowledge, it's like one of those things to where they play, oh, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But these are things to where that you literally, talk and tell to people of why and how, and this is what.
Stop.
What?
So this is one of the things, like, you know what I'm talking about when it goes into, technology and aspect and all that other stuff or whatever. And so I think a lot of people that when they get into the barbering aspect, this is just my own personal opinion. And you've been in the industry longer than I've been in the industry, but we've both been in it for a long time at this point in time now. And technology and barbering, has undeniably changed the game.
Yeah.
I love it. In the beginning, I was against it, but now, because I just see what the, things are going on, the growth and everything that, with the advances of clippers, the advances of grooming tools, barbers can achieve, precision cuts like never before. Booking apps also help out as well. Social media platforms have streamlined, operations as well as marketing, making it easier, for barbers to reach a wider, audience range for that matter, as well as virtual consultations. I've actually seen a few people talk about that, especially like during quarantine time, virtual consultations. I was like, bro, like you're on FaceTime with your client, so when the next time you cut his hair or you're teaching him how to at least maintain it, has also become popular. Allowing barbers to advise, clients remotely. Like I just said, the tech, integration for me has not only improved convenience, but also enhanced the overall, client experience. What is your take on, the technology in barbering? Because I know for me, I think it's a game changer. And like, me,
Yeah.
we've been rocking for a while. And I've always said, no, I'm a hand-to-hand guy. I'm a conversation guy. I'm a meet a guy,
Same.
In Publix or whatever, or a grocery store out here in Florida. I'll sit here and talk to him and give him a conversation versus, some random guy booking me on an app or something. And I'm like, whoa, who is John Smith? I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
But then I have to change it into, a personable experience for John Smith, even though that he booked online. So I like to ask, people and especially barbers about this. Like, what do you feel as though your outtake on technology and barbering aspect?
Oh, man, you know what? That was a loaded question.
It's a real question, though. But that's the thing. So many people are so against it. And I've seen in this industry, oh, you don't need to do this and you don't need to do that. I call them comment warriors. I see them in the comments.
Oh.
I see their thumbs moving.
Boy, they thumbs be in the gym.
But at the same time, it's like, me, I'm not a man of numbers. I could care less if I have 20,000, 30,000. Thank you. Appreciate it. If opportunities come along with it, I'm all for it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, I'm still in the shop every day.
Trapping. That's where you're going to get it at.
I'm,
Because the society. And this is the crazy part, bro. And for years until I became seasoned. And I
almost
learned
like adobo seasoning, or was it like sazon seasoning?
It's like sazon.
It's like sazon, not the little packages from the
Yeah, and you use the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Like if you make
the whole sazon package.
If you making chorizo. You making chorizo. There you go. You finna use that whole pack, dog. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You make a chorizo. Yeah, bro. You gotta use that whole thing, man.
The finger was moving like this.
Cause that's how you gonna get it out of there. You know what I mean? So like, what was I saying?
The chorizo and that's what a seasoned barber. You
Oh,
a seasoned barber.
When I became a seasoned barber, what was we talking about? You got me laughing. Technology.
Technology
Okay.
and barber.
All right.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. But it's so true though, and I think so many people don't realize that. Like, legitimately, you want to tell me that you're a barber and you know what you're doing, bro? You've been in the game for 3 months. What are you talking about?
Come on now, dog.
How does that even make any sense?
That be tripping me out. So like when you talk about technology, right?
How does that make any sense?
I got barbers that get out of the game right now, and they be like, man, I'm on Booksy, I'm on Squire, I'm on the Cut app,
Okay.
I'm on the website,
Sure.
and I'm out in the field,
We rocking.
and I'm just like, you must don't have no confidence in yourself
At all.
because here's the thing, I've only learned to love technology, right? So now, I was saying.
You was born in the 80s and raised in the 90s. That's what it is. You were outside playing.
And come on, I was
You got-
outside.
I'm
I had
pretty
to,
sure.
had to go
pause,
knock on
but
your
you
door.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, could Tahoe come outside and play,
Please.
please? Thank you, ma'am.
And then
Yeah.
imagine you get this. Nah, he's on punishment this weekend. You like my whole weekend shot.
Okay. You can't say nothing besides okay.
That's
But
it.
I attribute that same thought process to the barber industry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like somebody that goes up to somebody, let's say you at a bar, you're getting a drink, you're doing your thing or whatever, and you slide them a card. Hey, you know what? Blah, blah, blah. I'm a barber. Da-da-da. Boom. How hard is that? Do you know how many of these new age barbers, and this ain't sounding like no old head, bro. This is just keeping it real. They come out of school,
Yeah,
any barber school that they go to,
yeah.
they come out of school, and the first thing they expect is people to go, that's a barber.
You
Let
can
me
cut
go
my
get
hair."
my hair cut from her.
Mm-hmm.
No. It don't work like that.
Bro, you know. Shout out to the real barbers out there.
You gotta go knock on some people's doors
Man, bump that.
so y'all can see my face. Hold on.
Bump
There you
that. Shout out to the real barbers out there who understand this. I was trash until I was like 6 or 7 years in the game, and I actually felt confident in giving them my card. So what was I doing before that? I was faking the groove and hoping that they come in and hoping that they like the haircut.
Truth.
Cause it was like, guess what? You know how I was brought up in the game? Went to school, really didn't get much out of it. I got the basics. And then when I went into the shop, I was sitting next to a person that was cutting for 20, 25 years. You know what he said? Oh man, you gotta get 1,000 lineups under your belt. 1,000 lineups?
1,000 lineups.
1,000 lineups.
1,000 lineups.
So that person that's coming out of school, how long you think it's gonna take you to get 1,000 lineups under your belt?
That's crazy.
And it's like, why do I need 1,000 lineups? Because on that 1,001, you're gonna do it effortlessly without thinking.
It's almost like the what do they say? They call you you're an expert if you got 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours of work, then you are considered an expert.
They say if you work consistently how you supposed to, then you get to that 10,000 hours in about 10 years.
Oh,
The reality of it is, I'm going on my 13th.
13.
I'm going on my 13th year, and I can honestly tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just touching the surface.
Just touching the surface.
I'm just touching the surface. I can see why the dudes that's been cutting for 20 years, why they blow through haircuts.
Like it's nothing.
I'm not there yet. I'm still cutting hair to make sure that I still cut hair, and then when I give them the mirror, in my mind, I'm like, I hope they like it. I cut their hair 15, 20 times.
Yeah.
And each time it's the same haircut, and they're going to be like this. Oh, yeah, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, in my mind, I'm like, man, I hope they like it. Because I'm going through that process. You know what I mean? Like, the reason why I don't really indulge in the technology right now, but I think I'm starting to get to the point to where I need to, is because it's like, okay, I understand when I get myself to a point to where I'm definitely confident in myself, then yes, I am maybe willing to put myself and there you go. And look, I'm 13 years in the game, and I'm saying what I'm saying. When I get to the point where I feel like I'm confident enough in myself, then you know what? Let me go ahead and put myself on an app or something like that. Because it's like at that point, the only thing I don't like about the apps is the fact that if the barber can't get to me, then there's so many other barbers, right? So now if I'm coming and I did all that hand-to-hand combat to get you to come into my chair, why would I open you up to a whole bunch of other barbers?
Yeah.
But this is the way of life now, right? So notice what I said. When I'm confident in myself, because who knows when that's going to come for you. You know what I mean? And it really comes to when you take your pictures effortlessly and you post them effortlessly, right? Because you're not thinking about it anymore. Once you stop thinking about this game, you're going to know you're reaching a point to where it's like they can't catch you no more.
See, that's why I like the technology aspect. I'm not going to front. I was against it in the beginning, but I like the technology aspect from a different, perspective in the barber industry.
Yeah.
I like it when it is a means of simplifying my life.
Yeah.
Meaning, I don't have
like
to
that
pick
part.
up my phone. I don't have to worry about,
Booking all these appointments.
yeah, just text messages and
Seeing
phone
when I can get 'em
calls.
in
And this it's just too much for me when there's either in a website. I do prefer a website more than just a regular app.
Yes.
And I say that because I think it's more of a unique conversation. I think it's more of a unique situation. I think it's more of a personable situation to where it's, I know John Smith. I spoke to him at Chili's 2 weeks ago, and he decided to book a haircut with me. Grateful of it, 100%, but I know there's more of a personable experience that's going to come about of it from just somebody that's in town from Las Vegas and they need a barber because, then they sit in the chair and tell me about how their barber used to cut their hair, which I don't really care about because you're sitting in my chair. Why would you? It's like dating somebody. Like I tell people.
Yeah.
One thing about it, and I know people are going to laugh at this one right here because I just don't understand this. Don't tell me about your ex-barber. It's like telling me about or telling your current girlfriend about your ex-girlfriend.
Ooh.
You can't get mad if she decides to just stop talking to you. So don't get mad at me if I be like, bro, I don't care about your ex-barber.
At all.
Unless I know him. Meaning, Ben, you decide to move across town and your client comes to me. Ben used to cut my hair like this. That's my dog. Whatever. I'm not going to sit there and say anything about it besides, how did he cut your hair?
Yeah.
But if you were a barber that moved to California and you weren't my friend, I wouldn't care. I'm sorry. Wouldn't care at all.
Yeah.
So when it goes into the technology aspect, again, backtracking on that, I think it's beautiful in the sense of having people go online, having people use this specific app.
Yeah.
Now, mind you,
I like the structural part of that.
I 100% agree, as well as I also agree with you on having a marketplace app to where there's so many other barbers available. The technology that we have in 2024, there's no reason why each barber should have their own individual app if you are considering yourself an actual business entrepreneur and barber. Being a barber isn't just a person that cuts hair. Being a person that just cut hair is just a person that cuts hair, not a barber, which is arguably a independent contractor and a business owner.
Yeah.
So this is where it even goes into technology of, technology and barbering. A lot of barbers don't want to use their, business quote unquote savvy to get to the next level. And then they wonder why what's going on in, their situations in life is where if this technology could, help a little bit in the sense of just take off the piece of every client is going into, an app or, online to book the appointment, you can spend more time with your family. I mean, that's what the ultimate goal is anyways, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's your girlfriend, your kids, your wife, whatever the case it may be, is you can spend more time with your family.
Well, see, the thing is, and it's like when it comes to apps, right? I'm getting to the point to where I'm like, okay, you know what? I see the value.
Yes.
Definitely see the value. Do I want to swing my way over there? Nah, and I'm gonna tell you why, dog. Because it's like, yes, I'm down to. I want to be more confident in myself and the establishment that I'm in.
I agree.
We need to drive them to the website.
I agree.
So that people understand that this is where you come and get your cut at.
Yes.
Right, so now that goes back into like, how are we going to use technology to work for us as a shop? Right, so now like Google reviews, you know, having everybody go to a website.
And that's definitely technology and barbering, because a lot of people don't even understand the power of Google reviews. People think they want to have the best reviews on an app versus the best reviews on Google. Game changer.
Yeah, come on.
Game changer.
Come on.
I 100% agree with you on that.
Because Google is where when the guy, because all right, so this is my friction with the apps. And I love them to death. You know, we can all coexist.
I agree.
But here's my friction.
You sorry.
You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell him.
It's how you said it. We can all coexist. Like legitimately, it's the Walking Dead right here. Like you about to snap at some point.
Hey, you feel me? Because we can coexist. You know.
Oh my gosh! Sorry. Go ahead.
Here's my friction.
He said we can all coexist with the straightest face on.
You know, because it's like you are, and I get it. Right? Download the app.
Download that.
They get their downloads up. Then you gotta go through the app, and then you gotta, you know, you're doing everything through the app.
In the words of my mom, she would say it's the same old rigmarole.
Come on.
I used to sit back like, what? Nobody even use that word anymore. But it's the same old rigmarole. You know what I mean?
But the dude that's coming from Tennessee down to Florida, and he's down here on a business trip, and he wants to get a haircut, and he don't have the Cut app, he don't have Booksy, he don't have Squire, and I don't mean to even call y'all out like that, but y'all are the apps. So if we don't have those,
not the ops, they apps.
They the apps.
I'm sorry.
But y'all are the apps. You know what I'm saying? And you know, hey, listen, we all can coexist. We gonna see y'all at the trade shows, bro. We gonna see y'all at the trade shows. Peace, what's up? I'ma dap y'all up. We gonna be over there. But check this out. Here's the thing: the dude that's coming from Tennessee, that's coming down here on that business trip, and he wants to get a cut. He's finna Google, nothing crazy, but there's two melanated men over here. He's gonna Google best black barbershop in Oviedo.
This is true. This isn't trying to throw anything anywhere. This is legitimately what walks in the shop and says this.
Because if a person sits in my chair and they just came in, they first time in here, you know what the first things I asked them? How did you find the shop? Oh, well, I Googled such and such and such. It's never the app or this, that, and the third. Now, see, I get it. You guys strong-arm them in a corner and you put them on that app. That's fine, man. I love it because at the end of the day, like I say, I'm contemplating on getting on it because it's like, well, if I fill up over here, why not fill up over there, man? Just straight put the game in the chokehold, right?
I agree.
But then, also, I think about it like this. If we're going to go back to basketball. Okay, he's coaching, and then you got your starting five, and then we go and we win a championship. The last thing that I'm going to do after we win that championship is be like, okay, I'm going to keep these four, but I'm going to let you know that your contract is under restriction for the next year.
Yeah.
And that's my best player. So now it's like, well, yeah, I still got all these other ones that's good, but my main one, I just put him on a limbo. Meaning, hey, check this out. You can't get to me on this website no more. You're going to have to go ahead and download this app, put more space on your phone, and then get me from there.
That's a whole nother conversation with a lot of people, because a lot of people don't want to download apps to put space on their phone because it is one of those things where that they think the feds be watching me. So that's a whole nother conversation.
Come on now.
I'm just here.
Hey, people be looking at that. That's funny you said that.
Seriously, bro. I literally had people say that to me before. They was like, oh, I don't want to put this app on my phone because, you know, the feds be watching me. I'm like, what are you doing with your life? That's the first thing. Like, you're 63 years old, Harold. What are you talking about? The feds ain't looking at you. I know y'all generation. I'm sorry. Is it true, bro? Like, I get it. Like, y'all technology, you know, era. I love my 63-year-old people. I don't have any problem with it, but you're 63 years old. The feds aren't watching you, bro. Like,
It's nothing to watch you for.
there's absolutely nothing to watch unless you got something for them to watch you for, and that's a different conversation that I don't know about. I don't want to know about. Don't even talk to me about.
Make me accessory. I don't want none of
Leave
that.
me out of the conversation.
Now I will say though, man, and I want to reiterate this. I am starting to fall in love with the apps.
After he said we gonna dap him up.
Yeah, we're gonna see them. We're gonna dap them up. I'm still not gonna download them or go through them.
No,
I'm telling
no.
you, I'm starting to fall in love with them because
I
I
agree.
understand
I
it.
agree.
I think the more and more that the years goes on, is the
Mhm.
technology with those apps get better.
That's what I like. I will admit that. It's funny you say that because I do use I don't use an app per se, but I'm thinking about using an app in the near future. And with me thinking about using that app in the near future, I laugh because I'm like, when they first came to me and said, well, we can do ... And I was like, I do the same thing on the same system that I use already.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks ago, literally, this lady was blowing up my phone. And I'm like, bro, like, what the heck is going on? Long story short, started talking some good stuff. And I'm like, okay, show me what you're talking about. I almost signed up right then and there. I'm not even joking. I almost was like, here go my credit card.
And I feel like
Yeah.
once you really, okay, we gonna dap y'all up when we see y'all, right? Love y'all. Once you find the one that works for you,
See y'all.
yeah. Once you find the one that works for you, I think that's like half the battle.
I agree.
Like, cause with technology, I'm more on websites. Driving to the website, go from there because, like you say, it's structure. You know, I don't have to worry about you texting me and how can I get you in and this, that, and the third. Nah, it's all boom. You get on there, you find the time that works for you. Boom, my schedule's from this to this. Boom, 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 boom.
It's almost idiot proof.
Because technically, we using the app right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It just
100%.
you ain't gotta do too much to get to the app. You're really going to the website. You know what I mean? So like,
That's what, and that's the whole thing. You touch on that right there. I actually laugh because I say a lot of people don't realize it's the same exact thing. It's just you're not downloading it on your phone. Which I personally always say it makes more sense if you use a website versus an app. Oh, it's easier. How? You do realize a website don't take up any space on your phone. Unless you go to those kind of websites. And we ain't trying to go to those kind of websites. Because that doesn't have anything to do with barbering.
and you know,
How does that make any sense? Please tell me, how does that make any sense? Let me know, how does that make any sense?
I don't think it does.
It doesn't.
I think
It doesn't. Like, it legitimately doesn't. And I get that, you know, these companies and these apps have, you know, certain things or whatever with the technology and stuff. I'm like I said, I'm for it. I've never said that I was against it. I understand certain things are meant for certain things and other things aren't. But you can still go online and still book usually through a website. So that's where a lot of, I don't know. I don't.
I mean, I
You
think even with these apps, you still paying for them.
I agree.
So if I'm a spit my bread out, right,
Mhm.
then I'm gonna make sure like uniformly. And did I say that right? Uniformly.
Yeah.
I would prefer to give my client a card, my business card, and then they can go to a website.
I agree with you on that.
The guys that we are trying to tackle, and see, there's right, the business of barbering, man. This is thing. So it's preference. This conversation is solely preference based. A lot of the guys that I'm gonna go for in life, they work a regular 9 to 5. They, you know,
Website guys. That's
they want a good online. They want to go to the website, book their appointment, and then show up.
I agree.
And then they want to wait about 10 to 15 minutes to be seen. Like, if they can come in and get in, boom. But
Even better.
2025, hey, come on, brother. This is why I booked the appointment. So, I'm looking for those kind of guys, man. And those guys, man, they support their families. They got the wives, the kids, this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? And I feel like, age-wise, I feel like it's younger generations that's coming after the apps. They'll download the apps. They'll do that. So it's like filtration devices. Like, who do I want to see? And personally, I want to see the guy that's going to be more self-sufficient. The one that's going to be coming in here and it's going to give me less haggle on the haircut. So I think I'm going to go for the guy that's going to be going to the website versus the one that's going to the app. Yeah. Now, the one that's going to the app, do I want him to? Yeah. Because the guy that, here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying to you guys. And you guys, I don't want you guys to look at this conversation and think that we prefer one way or the other. It's knowing what's going to happen as the barber. Now, if the guy that's going to go on the website versus the guy that's going on the app, the one that's going on the app is going to drive to wherever I'm at. The one that's going on the website, if I go out of his radius, he's not going to come. So now when you understand your clientele, you got to understand which one's more feasible. If you somebody that bounce around, you might be an app kind of person, right? If you a stationary person, you might move and you might move down the street. Hand-to-hand combat really makes sense. See, there's two different ways you got to look at this.
Breaking it down.
You can't go up in here and be like, oh yeah, they sitting here talking this and that about the apps. And no, he's been in a barbershop for almost 10 years.
Literally.
I just left a barbershop that I was in for almost 10 years to come over here where I could spend the rest of my life and die. See, I'm not trying to move.
What?
Yeah.
No. Not die. Don't put that part in there. Like, what? No.
Hey, man, I'm going to retire from here, bro. They going to roll me out in the wheelchair. You know what I'm saying?
We can say that.
Yeah. I'm going to be cutting him like crow. You know what I mean?
Crow.
But it's like, and this is for all my barbers that's coming up in the game, man, because it's like, we don't want y'all to look at this conversation or look at this whole segment or whatever and just be like, oh man, these boys in here talking shit. No, we're not. We're giving you information. We're older barbers. Y'all are probably younger barbers. That app makes more sense to you.
Agreed.
The apps don't make sense to us. Why? Because we're actually in the field shaking hands and kissing babies.
I agree.
Y'all ain't willing to go out there and find clientele.
A lot of them.
Oh, I'm sorry. A lot of y'all ain't willing to go out there and find clientele. This is what y'all want to do. You want to attach the mic to your thing, and then you want to go ahead and put the camera right here, and you want to play around with your client, and then you're going to give a great haircut, and then you want to post that. And that's how you're going to get your clientele. But somebody like us, when we was in Publix today, we shook a few hands and gave out a few cards. And because we was in the radius of where they was at, because if we work in Oviedo, I'm going to the Publix in Oviedo. See what I'm saying? So I'm sticking it to my area. Yeah. So it's different on how we move. Hand-to-hand combat versus the app. Y'all doing social media. See, we grew up in a day where I had to go knock on his door to see if he can come out. You remember? Let's go back. Remember we was talking about that? It's all coming full circle. So now you see why we move different. Now you see why you like something versus me liking something. It's not saying that you're better than me or I'm better than you. It's just saying a preference. And now notice what I keep saying. I'm actually starting to like the app. Because if I fill up in a certain way, how can I fill my gaps without having to leave? I take my pictures. Instead of me posting on social media, I post to my app. And now they see it, and then now my levels can go up, and then I can get more people from there. So now all I got to do is really monitor when they booking me from here and when they booking me from here, and then put it on one thing so I can make sure I have my times ready so that when people come in, I'm giving them the proper experience. See, the thing is, when we talking to y'all, we want to make sure that you guys are breaking it down and understand what we're saying to y'all. We don't want y'all to get this thing and just think, oh, these boys talking shit, these old heads talking shit. Nah. Break it down and understand the difference. Older barbers, younger barbers. Which one is going to work for you better? See what I'm saying?
I agree 100% on that.
And see, and technology right now, and we're in a technology world. You guys are antisocial. That app works better for you. But
it's more benefits. I think personally it's more benefits in either or, depending on what type of barber you are.
I say
You know
what
I'm
kind of
saying?
what type of person, right?
That's-
Because
yeah,
I'm
that's
a I'm
right.
an introvert by nature,
Yeah,
so I don't want to talk.
yeah.
But I think me being a barber and when I started and learning,
It breaks you out of it
yeah,
because you have no choice to do it.
I have
And
to.
that's where, for me, it's one of those things to where, barbering as a cultural hub is one of those things. So
Yeah,
I always think of it like this standpoint. Modern barbershops have become a cultural hub and reflecting, communities and reflecting the communities they serve. And so,
yeah,
like, you speak on certain things or whatever just now with the technology aspect, they host events. They host events and collaborate with local artists and they act as that is they act as a safe space for discussions and social issues. This helps redefine the role of the barber as a community leader and influencer.
so what you mean, like a barbershop should be like a safe space?
No, absolutely, I believe
Okay.
the barber. I have a excuse me. I have a saying with my clients when they sit in my chair: is barber client confidentiality. So there is absolutely nothing that goes on. Your name will not be used in any situation because why would it be? If this is a safe space for you and you're telling me, hey, listen, I need to get something off my chest, why not have this conversation with me when I know more than likely you can't have it with anybody else?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that part right there. So it goes into the becoming, a cultural hub. And so, in our culture, it's just is what it is. In the black and brown communities, it's always been a cultural environment to where there is a safe space and no judgment
Yeah,
because we are being judged on the outside world.
yeah,
And I know with, other cultures, when it goes into that, conversation, some cultures, are excuse me, some situations don't even say hi when they walk in the door. So it's just from that alone. Like, I know growing up as a kid, growing up in a quote unquote predominantly black barbershop, just with that alone, I had to say hello to every single barber in there.
everybody.
And if I didn't say hello to every single barber in there, I stopped at the door and said, how y'all doing? And these are things where a lot of people don't understand that part right there. So it's like you say, a cultural hub is just creating that community and, the community that you serve as well. And I think a lot of people don't realize the community that you do serve is a bigger portion of having not only a barbershop, but being a barber in that community as well.
You ever
You ever what?
you still going?
You ever what?
You ever went to all right, so we got melanin in our skin.
Mm-hmm.
You ever went to the barbershop and your mom left?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
A few times.
Yeah, and it's like, so back then, and I'm speaking, we was born in the 1900s.
Why do you say it like that? I feel like I should be like, hello, I'm Tahoe the barber.
Hello, this is Tahoe the barber.
I got my big frilly shirt on right now.
Yeah, we was born in the 1900s, right?
1900s.
So think about this, right? Okay, the last time I got a haircut, and my hair long, 19 years. Last time I got a haircut, we didn't book an appointment. We showed up, and it was $10 for the haircut. So now I say that to say, my mom knew either I have them there first thing in the morning, they be one of the first two to get a haircut,
Yeah.
or I can get them there around 10 or 11,
Yeah.
and they gonna be there for about 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
So it all depends on what your mom had to do that day.
Yeah.
Cause she'll drop us off about 10, and then we there to about 3, 4. And the only thing is, I'm mad at that point because it's like, well, dang, mom, I wanted to go outside. This is cutting to my outside time.
You just hanging out.
You just hanging out. You know what I mean?
They said the outside time.
I'm my outside time, dog. So it's like, back in the day, man, a barbershop. Well, I ain't gonna say back in the day. Right now, like even still to this day, man, the barbershop, especially if it's a community barbershop, that thing is so important to the hood, man, because one, that's where your kids gonna learn to be men. They gonna learn their latest fashion.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna get reprimanded. Like, cause I don't know barbers that I work with who you gonna be coming up in here and be disrespecting anything or be disrespectful.
No.
So we teaching you how to be a young man. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And then not only that, it's just this, it's just that trustworthiness, man. I think when we started working together back in the day, one of the things that we knew that was gonna make people want to walk through that door was setting the right environment.
I agree.
So it was just something as little as music.
Yeah.
Playing the right music, dog. Because if you play the right music, then guess what? Karen,
Now we had whole playlists. I remember that.
bruh. Because we're gonna have Karen coming in here with little Johnny,
Little Johnny.
and Karen's gonna be so comfortable getting her haircut. Think about the lady today that came and got the pixie cut.
Mm-hmm.
She was so jolly throughout from the start to finish. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that, like, creating that atmosphere. Like, I know culturally, yeah, you know, we may be a black barbershop and, you know, we cater to the people with melanin in their skin. But when you walk through this door, the safe space means it's for everybody.
Yeah.
And like, even Karen will come and drop her kids off and leave. And it's like that comfort level in there, man. That's when you know you got a good shop, you got a good team, you got the good vibes going on. And I think that's what's important, man, because you can go to those hood barbershops and then maybe only one person in there can give you a good haircut and everybody else trash and don't nobody care about nothing.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? So
And
it's
I think a lot of people just in that point right there, I think it goes back into the cultural hub. So many people don't realize the cultural aspect of what it comes about with being in the barbershop.
yeah.
So some people say black barbershop, and I never, for me personally, never labeled the District Grooming Company as a black barbershop because for what? We cater to legitimately everybody. And so many, I've heard so many people say, "Well, you are," and I'm like, "Says who?"
I think they look at it because they see
Black owner?
a black owner, majority black people. But it's just like you say, man. And I it was one of my that same lady that I was cutting, that I did the pix cut on, that she came earlier.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, because when I looked up, it was me, you, Cordero, and Manny. And I said, if you look around, we all went to one place to learn how to cut hair.
Agreed.
So it's like we all have a standard, and we all have a standard. We all have a way, and we all know what we can do. And we don't put like a cap on it.
No.
Like, meaning, if I put a cap on my life, then I shouldn't be cutting your hair right now.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And it was
100%.
like, she said, I came in, I said, do you guys cut women? He said, yeah. Can you do a pixie cut? He said, yeah. Do you have availability right now? He said, yeah. And I said, well, you got you a new client. And it's like, I mean, how simple can it be? You know, she just came in and just felt good. It was a safe space, and you made her feel safe.
And that's the whole point of it, like being a cultural hub. So many people think it's just, again, for the black and brown community or, you know, the Caucasian community or whatever community that they feel as though it should be the cultural hub for. But it's for the people that feel safe that comes into the shop.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what we're creating culturally. And I tell you guys this in the meetings. I tell you guys this in, you know, just regular conversation. I want to build a culture for District Grooming Company. So even when it comes into the Grooming Chair podcast, it's still people that are on this podcast is all going to be a part of the cultural experience for barbering. That's a big thing. That's a game changer. So
Yeah.
many people don't understand that there's actually a culture behind barbering before it gets to the cultural aspect of the individual shops, you know, the individual barbers for that matter, depending on the type of people that they cut, depending on, you know, these things and, you know, facets of life or whatever, to where, you know, it redefines the role of the barber as a community leader and influencer. So many people want to be an influencer nowadays in the sense of, look at me, I can model this, I can do that. I want to get this brand deal, this brand blah, blah, blah. I told you from day one, I didn't care about being, you know, sponsored by other people. I sponsored my damn self.
Yeah.
What did I do? Sponsor my damn self.
Yeah.
So it was always those kind of things to where it was, I have success in those areas, but I also wanted to give back because it's not just me being a barber in the sense of, oh, I'm a barber, I cut hair. It was me being a barber of, I'm putting everybody around me in the situation or giving them an opportunity to be what I have and or greater. I am putting everybody that sits in my chair, giving them knowledge from what I have and or giving them greater knowledge. That's the point for me. It's a collaborative, effort of local artists, local people, local everything, just creating that safe space for that open discussion on whatever it is that we can have a conversation about. But, education to me and barbering is also, it has improved from day one. And what a lot of people don't know about you is that, you have been on the education side as well with, barbering. And this is a great emphasis on business skills, digital marketing, as well as advanced techniques when it comes to barbering. And barbering schools now offer, comprehensive programs that, prepare, students for multifaceted demands of the barber industry. And I know from when I was in school, there was a lot of talk on, product knowledge, knowing your product knowledge. And maybe that's because of the school that we went to, but it also helped me understand that you can make more money off a product than you can make off of just cutting hair. Or double and triple your income and your revenue, because it's going to put you in a situation to where is if you sell 3 to 4 products, that's technically, 3 to 4 haircuts that you don't have to worry about. So now if your ticket price is higher, which I've seen in multiple situations, the ticket price from product alone is way higher than the actual haircut service. These are things to where is if I didn't have this education or training prior to this, man, I would have just been cutting hair.
Cutting hair, dog, yeah.
And it's even knowing, the education for me is just thinking about it from the whole process of what is going into these products. Because I know, the school that I went to, they was big on, better ingredients before it was, crappy ingredients for that matter. They weren't testing on animals. They weren't doing all this other stuff like, little rabbits or something like that, to where it's, oh, I got my little rabbit here, so I'm just put some shampoo I made in my bathtub. No, they didn't do any of that stuff, at least to my knowledge.
No.
They had, what is it? Our Pui. I think it's called Our Pui Plant Fields in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, yeah. That's
because cold press the flowers.
That's the only place you can get that plant, in Hawaii. And they got the whole fit. Man, do you know that he passed away?
Yes.
That's crazy, out of nowhere too.
Yes.
And that man, boy, and education. Where we went, I don't think people like really respect it or understand it, because the first thing out of their mouth is, oh yeah, they ain't got no products for us. Product is product. When you know how to use product,
your hair is your hair.
Your hair is your hair.
Sorry,
you see what I'm saying?
Not your hair.
So like what we break. Y'all be like, oh yeah, I got a 4A C, and it's like, no, you either got straight, curly, or wavy. Which one you want?
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? And now when I understand which one you have, then I can understand what you need. See, if you got curly, coarse hair, then maybe I'm gonna recommend you something that has moisture. Why? Because curly, coarse hair lacks moisture. You understand what I'm saying? You see where we're going with that? Right? And so the thing is, it's like, the reason why education is really a big thing for us, right? Because education allowed us to understand why we are cutting the hair. So if I tell Tahoe, just cut the fucking hair.
I've heard this before, literally like a little whisper in my ear, and I'm like, bruh, like,
and and the thing is, but what was the journey that we took to get there?
I agree.
We took him to the wash house first.
Yep.
Washed and conditioned. So now, in our service, think about it, we're going to use 4 products. We're starting with shampoo and conditioner. And then I'm gonna use maybe something to blow dry the hair so I can get it into place so that when I'm ready to style it, I can do what I want to do. Now, see, off rip, when I said that, you should already know that I'm cutting either a Spanish or a white person, somebody with that straight hair, that straight wavy hair. You understand what I'm saying? Where I got to use scissors at the top. Now, see, persons like that, products make sense because it's gonna lead me to the finish line. If I'm cutting Tahoe's hair, you know why products make sense? Because we went to somebody like Paul Mitchell, right? Paul Mitchell had a product called Barber's Classic. That Barber's Classic had a little bit of hold, but it was conditioning. So if I washed his hair and then I put Barber's Classic in it and then I blow dried it, see, now I opened up his cuticle, I allowed those products to penetrate, but then the product that I put in his hair, it is conditioning it while it's in there. So now his hair that was bone hard when he came in this thing, pause. By the time I sit down and I actually start cutting his hair, it's soft. Pause. He digs what I'm saying? That's the power of products. And I only use 3 products at that point. Now my 4th product that I'm using is a finishing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I may want to come back and I may want to put a little stronger hold on there so his waves can pop. I may want to put something on there with a little bit of shine, but I know my Barber's Classic had a little shine in it. You dig what I'm saying? So you see how I'm kicking out these products. I use those products to get to the end of the line, you know, to get me from A to Z. And it's like, you know, when you look at education, man, I think one of the strongest things we learned was products and how to use them. I think barbers don't really understand that. They just be out here doing stuff. Like, I look at somebody like, they might get mad at me, dog.
We name dropping it.
I look at somebody like Popular Nobody, John Mosley. You dig? And I look at how he manipulates hair. He's a black barber. But if you ever go over there and watch him cut hair, he's really only cutting people that's outside of his melanin. You digs? But then I look at somebody like Kenny Duncan, you know, straight out of Philly. He's an Andes barber. And both of these are Andes educators. You dig? But I like Kenny Duncan because I can watch him and I can watch him cut textured, coarse hair, meaning he's cutting black people. I can watch Popular Nobody, and I like, even though he cuts a lot of black people, I like what he does with different textures of hair. You digs? So it's like I learned so much through both of them. But their processes are so different, but yet one and the same. And they both work for the same company. So it's like I can look at those 2 educators, man, and I can get so much out of that. You know what I mean? But then I can look at somebody like, peep this, I can look at somebody like Brandon Palmore, Paul Mitchell, right? And I can look at him and I can see, man, it's crazy how he manipulates product when he's doing his services. See, Brandon is somebody who understands product. You dig what I'm saying? The other ones is understanding different textures. You know, so now when I sit back, you know, I admire these barbers, right? Because I can look at them and I can learn something different every single time. So it's like, even with education, he said, yes, I was into education, but you see, I go somewhere to get my game right. And I think that when it comes to education, man, it's just like, who are you looking at?
No, I agree.
Like, cause
I think every barber should actually have a mentor, and people look at me like I'm crazy.
You should have a mentor.
So when I sit here and speak on, you know, just education as well as training and things along those lines, people are like, oh, you actually got a mentor? Like, you look up to somebody? I say, well, I mean, if you want to say look up to somebody, yes. My mentor, you know, is somebody that I admire. And I think what a lot of people fail to realize is in let's keep it real with you know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to be the head person. And so when they want to be the person that is, hold on, give me one second. When people want to be the head person and have no direction, it's like, what are you doing? So I never understood that. That's just, you know, a thought, I guess, that I have from time to time. It's like, you want to tell me where you want to go, but you don't even have anybody that you look up to. You don't have anybody that makes you even
go take.
So
move.
It's like, what are you saying here? How can you tell me to do what I want to do or whatever the case it is? And I don't know. I just don't understand it. But
I mean, it's wild because I mean, I was one that grew up with no mentors, And then when I was in the schoolhouse with y'all boys, I understand the value of, we're not even gonna call it a mentor.
No, and I'll tell you, my mentor is Tyreek Jackson. That's legitimately it. Met the guy a few times at a Connecticut Barber Expo back in the day, and it's the education and training. One thing about it, he owns school as well as barbershops. These things to where it's, when I look on just his Instagram alone, I'm like, okay, I see this guy actually having conversations about how to build barbers, how to go about it from this standpoint. And if we use these types of people and we use these types of names or whatever, it's not putting them on a higher pedestal than what it is. It's legitimately just giving them their credit when it's due. It's like, hey, I look up to you. I admire you. It is something about what you do that makes me go, I got to get to that next level and or go better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think a lot of people don't understand that part, because the first thing they want to do in barbering is, oh, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm, you can't tell me what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And it's, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense, because if you're putting yourself in a situation like that, you're kind of putting yourself in a box. And if you're putting yourself in a box, you're never going to grow. And just for me personally, it's, I don't get it. I don't get it at all, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. People don't want to. Me and you would have to go further in life and do more in life for somebody to look at us and be like, oh man, I look up to him.
Yeah, is it true? It's another guy. I'm sorry, we cut you off here. And this guy's name is Donnie Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
I've never even heard of this guy before.
$1 million barber.
Man, yes, and this is the. I bought this book for the shop one time or whatever, and this is another thing a lot of people don't realize. He has a book. It's The Habits of a Six-Figure Barber, and it's just a simple, easy read. But again, this conversation-wise with him personally, it just made me sit back and think to myself, like, a lot of people don't base anything off of their education and or training. What they do is just go for it. And it's like, so you have no plan or anything to even go about life with any. Oh, okay, so that makes sense. But again, another guy that owns barbershops, barber college, been in the industry for 20 plus years, these kind of things to where it's education and training is always one of those bigger things.
I mean, those are like, to me, you look over education, man, but you look over until you actually go through it.
Mm-hmm.
So meaning like continuing education. I always think that continuing education is something that gets overlooked, because it's like, if we lived in Chicago, there is a certain amount of hours that we would have to do every year for continuing education. The state of Florida, they don't require that. So now I was getting a lot of my continuing education because I was working at the school, and we had somebody coming in every month or every other month, and they was giving us staff training. So that was my continuing education.
Mm-hmm.
If I get out, once I stop working at the school, and I'm now just strictly at the barbershop, the only way I can get continuing education if I attend these shows or actually actively seek out to go and find that continuing education.
Yeah.
Or maybe even just getting on YouTube and just checking out stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it meaning, what I'm saying is that, like, I was at a point to where the continuing education was just coming and I was doing it. But now I'm at that point to where if I want to go and take continuing education, then I need to go get it.
So it's taking the initiative.
Taking the initiative. Now, see, here's where I kind of get upset with those barbers that leave school and then just think that they can go and be in a salon suite. I'm not saying don't. If you got the clients and you can sustain it, go for it. What I'm saying is that when you're there, what you miss out on is being able to look around and see other barbers.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things, like, I sit in the back of the shop, I look up, I got 5 other barbers I can look at.
Mm-hmm.
Which means on any given day, I can hate how I cut hair, and I can look up and find 5 different ways to cut hair.
Yeah.
You know, when you in that salon suite, think about it. If I'm not even going to chase continuing education, I ain't looking at nothing either. So I'm only as good as I will allow myself to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if I'm in this barbershop, see, like, think about it, somebody like Steph. Steph is super talented. Like, I look back here and I watch Steph cut and I be like, damn. But Steph, he'll come back there and be like, damn, boy, I look at y'all boys and be like, damn, I can get better.
Yeah, because it's always about getting better. It's the way everybody has a Steph in their shop. You should have a Steph in their shop.
Should. And
you should always have a person that wants to get better. Even if it's, you've been, for me personally, I use myself, been in the industry for a very long time now, and I still want to get better. So even if I'm not next to you, I'm looking across the room.
Yep. Try to stay what you're doing.
So how you do that?
Because even if it's...
Okay, that was dope.
Like me, I'm at that aspect of, not necessarily that I'm looking at you trying to get quality. I'm trying to see how you get to point A to point Z that fast.
Agreed.
Right?
And how can I use it?
And you feel me? So
I don't want to steal it.
I
just want to use it.
Just want to use it, dog, because it's like you're doing something that's getting you skipping 4-5 steps.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe I need to take longer strokes. Pause. You know what I mean? Or maybe I need to, like, take things out, you know? But it's like, education, I believe, man, it can come in a lot of different ways. It's all about how you observe.
I agree.
You know, I may not go and pay for continuing education, but I'll go sit in a barbershop, a random-ass barbershop, and just sit there. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, do you want a haircut? I'll be like, yeah, no. I'm just here. You know what I mean?
I feel as though that you have done that before.
That's how I was.
I feel as though that you have done that before.
That's how I was able to figure out what kind of shop that I would actually want to be in. I
understand that.
I would go sit in the shop and I would just sit there. Yeah. And then I'm not going to lie to you. One of the things that really played in my mind was like, and I would notice it when I go into different barbershops, like if I go into a black barbershop versus a Spanish barbershop. Now, I'm not saying there was a difference, but there was a difference.
Yeah.
The Spanish people, especially if they didn't really speak English like that, they wasn't going to say nothing. I walk in, you may get 1 or 2 people to look at you, but then they're going to put their head down. But then I walk into a black barbershop, you either going to get somebody that's going to say hey to you, or they ain't going to say nothing to you. They all going to be muggy. And you better hope you coming. You better be going in there for somebody. You know what I'm saying? If not, go ahead and get up out of there. But like that was a big thing for me because it was like, okay, if I walk into a barbershop, what's really key is like when I walk in, and this is any business, any establishment. I walk in, what I focus on is if somebody's gonna say hi to me. If no one says hi to me, then I'll look, but I'm out. You know what I mean? Because I don't feel like it's a safe space at that point, you know. And it's like, it's funny how in this conversation everything goes back full circle, but just your simple saying hi when I walk in makes me feel like this is a safe space. Even though when I walk in and you say hi and I say hi back, I don't want to talk to you no more. But you said hi when I came in, so that makes a big difference, you know what I mean?
I agree 100% with you on that. So, you know, the barber industry has, you know, truly come a long way from the early 2000s, and it's an exciting time, full of innovation as well as, you know, cultural significance. Whether you're a barber, a client, or just a fan of the craft, the evolution of barbering is something to be celebrated. And thanks for tuning in to the Grooming Chair podcast. Join us next time as we continue to explore the world of barbering and hair and culture. Don't forget to subscribe. Also follow us on social media for any updates. Ben Graham, what's your Instagram?
Oh man, my Instagram is, I'm gonna say it slow.
I'm over here waiting for the pause.
He's like,
What's going on?
Man, because they always spell it wrong, man. It's Ben Graham 23, right? So y'all gonna put in Ben Graham, Graham. No.
Okay.
Graham. No, it's Gram. Ben Graham. BenGram 23. Ben Graham. Man, once you type in the Ben, I'm gonna pop up. You know, and
you just on top radar.
I'm on top radar. I'm probably the only Ben Graham out there. You know what I mean?
Ben Graham I ever known.
Yeah,
but
Well, there was another one. He was the inventor, but that's besides the point. Yeah, it was besides.
I feel like you researched that.
I did. He was an inventor and an investor.
Okay.
So he was a white man, and he had that bread.
He have dreads.
He ain't have no. He had like a little comb over. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, but you know what, man?
My God,
listen, man.
bro.
Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the
yeah.
Grooming Chair
This
podcast,
is Grooming
man.
Chair Wait, hold on. Time out. Follow me, Tahoe in the morning as
yeah.
well. Also, follow us on our main Instagram, the Grooming Chair Podcast. Go right ahead.
Yo, and then stay tuned, man. Be on the lookout. This is our first episode dropping. We got more to come. We got special guests coming up in this first season. We got a lot of things intact for y'all. And what we would ask is you guys, start liking, subscribing, commenting,
on there.
and
all that stuff.
And questions. If you guys got questions, it doesn't matter if it was for this week or for next week
or whenever.
Send us questions, and we're gonna make sure we get to them, man.
You can send those questions at our DMs.
Come on now, the Grooming Chair podcast.
There you go. Just put it in the DMs. It makes life easier because we both see it. It don't get lost in the sauce or whatever. This is us, the Grooming Chair podcast. It's your host, Tahoe in the Morning, along with Ben Graham.
Your boy Ben Bugs Bunny Graham. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, y'all just stay tuned, man. Y'all rock with us, man. We gonna do this. We gonna be in tune with this, and we gonna be rocking with this, man. And like I say, man, we got more guests to come. And tell your friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You hear me?
Tell a friend.